Hi everybody, it's Happy Tuesday and it's April 21st. And for those of you who don't know what today is, it is National Tea Day. And I posted a picture on my Facebook page today of the tea set that I'm actually using right now. This is my teapot it was made in Russia, but I got it in Sitka, Alaska many, many years ago. I am drinking tea from a cup that was made in England, but it was my mother's teacup. She has the whole set. Very, very pretty set. If you can see that, it looks like a needlepoint pattern. And then my silver was a gift. It is sterling silver, and it was made in the USA. And as one of my friends on Facebook pointed out, he said, "Oh, you're so sophisticated, you're so cosmopolitan. You have a teapot from Russia and a teacup from England and a teaspoon from the USA." So I guess I am. So just in the short amount of time that I'll be spending with you today, and I'm coming to you live from my living room, and behind me is Abigail Grace. She's taking her nap. So I just want to share with you a couple of quick tips about tea etiquette because it is National Tea Day. So the other cute thing that I want to show you that I bought at an antique store in West Palm Beach, Florida. If you take a look, here is a drip cup and this is a strainer. It's really cute because when I drink tea, if I make my tea with loose tea and I pour it, you don't want the tea leaves to go in the cup. So a strainer is great for that because what you can do is take your strainer and put it on the top of the cup. Doesn't that look pretty fancy? And then I'll try my best to do it while we're on camera. And then you'll pour your hot tea. And you don't want to fill the cup up all the way because you'll take your strainer out and put it in the drip cup. I left a little room for milk. Now you don't have to take your tea with milk, but when you're drinking black tea, you can take it with milk or sugar or lemon. When you're drinking green tea, you usually drink it straight. Green tea has all kinds of good health benefits, but you may not like green tea. I've been to Asia many times and I've learned to acquire a taste for it, but if I had my druthers, I would be drinking black tea all day long because I really, really enjoy the taste. But I also take my tea with honey. I try not to take it with too much sugar if I do use sugar, but did you know you use white sugar with tea and a brown sugar with coffee? And I don't mean the brown sugar like a baking sugar. I'm talking about like a demerara sugar, a raw sugar. That's what you would use with coffee. But with tea, it would be nice to use those little white sugar cubes because they kind of look fancy. And if you want to impress your guests, you can bring out your tea strainer and your white tea cube, your sugar cubes and your tongs, and people will think you're ultra sophisticated if you if you have all those cute things. And so let me just share with you a little bit about tea. Okay, so I've mentioned there's green tea, there's black tea. My favorite happens to be a Darjeeling tea. You might be a fan of Earl Grey, or they even have something called Lady Grey. English breakfast is very, very common. There's all kinds of black teas. There's flavored teas. Somebody on my Facebook page mentioned that they love peach tea in the summertime. Another person mentioned that she loved rose and hibiscus tea. Delicious. Again, that's a really great flavor for summertime. And again, your taste might change with the seasons, and that's okay. So when it gets a little warmer, you might think, well, I don't like to drink tea in the summertime. It's too hot. Well, not necessarily, because actually tea has a way of cooling you down. And also, did you know that tea is a diuretic? So it's really good for you. And if you want to lose a little weight, green tea is what, and also green tea is very, very healthy for you. And some people, if they don't like green tea, they'll take it in tablets, but why not enjoy the ceremony, the experience? Now, speaking of ceremony and experience, let me just say hi to Monica. Let me say hi to, I've got friends who, Nathinia from Kenya is watching. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. So, okay, I'm sitting in my living room at a low table. This is my coffee table. And I'm actually sitting on the floor right now. So I wouldn't normally do this, but for the camera, I'm going to be doing this today. When, a long time ago, afternoon tea was served at a low table. High tea was served at a high table. That's the difference. Some people say, oh, let's have high tea. Let's go out to have some high tea. What they really mean is they want to go out and have afternoon tea. What high tea means is back years and years ago, the tea was served at a high table, and it was a working man's supper. So people would eat a lot of savory foods like roasts and cottage pie, and it was actually a supper. So that's what high tea really is, if you want to be extremely proper. Afternoon tea, think of afternoon tea as the tier that you get when you go to, let's say, a hotel, a fancy hotel. It might be the Ritz-Carlton, it might be a tea house. They'll give you a tier, and on the bottom tier, you're served finger sandwiches. And that might be salmon, it might be egg salad, it could be cucumber sandwiches. They're little tiny sandwiches, and the crust is cut off. You never see the crust on these little finger sandwiches. And you can eat those with your fingers if you'd like. Or if you don't want to get your fingers dirty, then go ahead and use a knife and fork. That's okay too. But why not have some fun and just eat finger sandwiches with your fingers? On the second tier, you'll usually find scones. Now, notice how I pronounce that. I didn't say scone. Technically it's pronounced scone, as if the E is silent. And the finer restaurants will bring out the scones separately when they're fresh out of the oven, when they're nice and warm. Or if they're served on the little tier, oftentimes they'll cover them up with a nice napkin to keep them warm. But the best way to eat a scone is when it is warm. And you'll be given usually lemon curd, you'll be given Devonshire cream, you'll be given a strawberry preserve. And I like to put a strawberry preserve on first and then the cream on second. So I think of it as a cake. So you've got the cake on the bottom, the filling in the middle, and then you have the cream on the top. So some people like their cream first and their jam second. That's fine too. There isn't really a proper way of doing it. It's personal preference. And then on the top tier of this three-tier is your little petit fours. It's the chocolates. It's the little desserts. And so what I do is I eat the food in the order of savory first, sweets last. So I'll start with the finger sandwiches, and then I'll go to the scones second, and then third and last I'll have the little petit fours. So those of you who are joining us, hi Sunita, hi Carrie, hi Trang, hi Diane, thanks for watching. Today is April 21st and it is National Tea Day. And the best time to have afternoon tea is usually around 2 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. High tea, again, for those of you who are just joining us, is really a working man's supper. High tea is served at a high table. Afternoon tea is served at a low table. Now, I'm sitting at a low table. So If I were to sit on this couch behind me and I were to lift the teacup, you never want to separate the teacup from the saucer when you're sitting at a low table. You would keep both together. And when you're drinking tea or sipping tea, you look into the cup, never over the cup. When I mean over the cup, you never do this. That looks pretty silly. Notice how I'm holding the teacup. Can you see that you never want to hold it like this? I know some of us like to cradle our teacups and our coffee cups, but you never cradle a teacup. It's too dainty, too fragile. So you see all my fingers are pointed inward. Sometimes you'll see somebody do this. That's not correct, folks. You never extend your pinky finger. You keep all the fingers inside holding. You'll just get a better grasp holding the cup. Next thing I want to mention is how to stir your tea. Let's say that you put some milk in the tea. I always put my milk in last, never first. Now, some people believe you put the milk in first because if you pour hot tea in the cup is going to crack. Well, that is not true. You want to pour the hot tea in first. You pour your milk in last. And if you'd like, you can put in honey or those cute little sugar cubes, or you could put in a little bit of milk. And when you stir your tea, you want to be as quiet as possible. So you don't want to do this. Instead of stirring the tea, you simply go in a 12-6, 12-6 position, just like that. And then no need to do that. You just take it and put the spoon in the back of the cup. And it's as simple as that. You never want to lick the spoon. Heavens no. And when you're using the knife to put the cream on your scone or your putting jam on your scone, you never want to lick the knife. I know you're probably thinking, who does that? Well, you never know. So we have our tea here, we have our cup here, and don't forget to put your napkin on your lap. This happens to be a beautiful napkin that I bought at an estate sale here in Mount Dora, Florida. And I think it's kind of fun to break out your fancy china and your fancy sterling silver and your pretty teapots. And you can make it a ceremony. It's one way of pampering yourself, especially now that we are homebound. We're isolating ourselves. We're going through this strange time. Tea has a way of just calming us down, and actually the health benefits are tremendous. So Julie, thanks for watching. Rosalinda, thanks for watching. I'm so happy you're here. There are 3 types of tea: the black tea, the green tea, the white tea, which again is the most it's the most delicate of teas. It's the least fermented of teas. And then I know some of you like just an herbal tea, which really herbal tea isn't technically tea. It's herbs, it's spices, and oftentimes the herbal tea doesn't have any caffeine, whereas the black tea and the green tea has the most caffeine. And if you need that little pick-me-up in the middle of the afternoon, then those are the types of teas that you would drink in the evening when you're calming down and you want to quiet yourself before going to bed. You might want to try a chamomile tea, or there's all kinds of flowery teas that a chrysanthemum tea is really nice. I learned to drink chrysanthemum tea in China. And so you can change up your teas with the season, with the time of day. In the morning, you might want something like an English breakfast to start your day, and then as the day progresses, maybe in the middle of the afternoon, you would go to something a little bit more fragrant, like an Earl Grey tea. If you like a particular type of tea, go to my Facebook page, because this morning I posted a picture of my tea set, and I am gathering all of your answers on what type of tea you like. So I would hope that you would go to my Facebook page and share with me what you do like. So those are just some quick tips on afternoon tea etiquette. Again, April 21st is National Tea Day, but I don't think you need a specific day to enjoy afternoon tea. You can enjoy it anytime. And I really appreciate all of you watching. If you want more information on tea etiquette or etiquette tips in general, please go to my website, which is etiquetteexpert.com. I have a free newsletter that I produce and write every single month, and it's complimentary, so please go ahead and subscribe to that. And I also have an Instagram page if you're interested in seeing more pictures of my tea set and my cottage. I actually live here in the adorable city of Mount Dora. I call it Mount Adorable. And I live in a 1925 cottage with my dogs, Cooper and Abigail. And I would love to hear your tips and what kind of tea you're drinking today. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk soon. Everybody stay safe. Bye-bye.